Chapter 589, Object Within the Nest. As Lumien's astral projection expanded with the power of the sea, he immediately sensed the presence of the waters. This wasn't a genuine ocean, but a fantastical sea created by radiant starlight. At its core lay the projection of the silver-gray behemoth. Empowered by an ample supply of the sea's power, Lumien's astral projection surged forward, merging seamlessly with the phantom. A burning sensation radiated from the left side of his chest, as if some form of acknowledgement had been received. His consciousness extended boundlessly, taking command of the dreamlike illusory sea. In the course of this process, he glimpsed the phantoms of Juan Oro, Ultraman Lado Gyro, and unfamiliar apparitions. Those who have returned to the sea? They seem to have transformed into water droplets in the sea. Lumien withdrew his gaze from the joyful Juan Oro and the pained Lado Gyro, redirecting it toward the depths of the tunnel ahead. From a considerable distance, he spotted Mad Lady. The silver-gray behemoth harbored entities nurtured within the flesh and blood bird's nest. With the Baiting's black insect, little devils, and other extraterrestrial life forms, it was inevitable that they coexisted in the spirit world. However, this spirit world was entirely severed from the external realm. Consequently, Beyonders skilled in summoning creatures from the spirit world for assistance found themselves bereft of their primary reliance. Teleportation executed through the spirit world, however, retained some semblance of normalcy. Departing directly, however, proved impossible. The only avenues were through the energy passageway at the entrance or by breaching the outer wall to connect the inner and outer spirit worlds. Simultaneously, the closer one approached the flesh and blood bird's nest, the more peculiar the spirit world became. It was as though the air gradually thickened, becoming almost tangible and impeding the approach of birds. In such an environment, coupled with the absence of a flesh and blood bird's nest, Mad Lady found herself unable to teleport directly. Her only recourse was to blink incrementally, expending her spirituality with each maneuver. Having focused on Mad Lady and the space in front of her, Lumien suddenly extended his right hand and clenched it into a fist. The air surrounding Mad Lady immediately grew dense, as if assuming a tangible form. This transformation caused the illusory curtain to bend, compressing the corresponding area into a dark and transparent sphere. Once more, Mad Lady's form disappeared, but a formless force, shaped by the bending area, yanked her out and sent her plummeting. Under the authority of the governor of the sea, the spirit world within the sphere and the spirit world within the silver-gray behemoth were forcibly separated. However, this effect was contingent on the peculiar environment. In the external world, given Lumien's current level and mastery of the power of the sea, completely isolating an area from the expansive and genuine spirit world proved challenging. He could merely employ cosmic void to create an exit path and a door symbolizing an escape route, a tactic vulnerable to counteraction by a traveler's abilities. Mad Lady attempted another blink, yet found herself unable to escape the dark sphere's confines. She halted in place, seriously contemplating her recorded abilities and the items in her possession that might alleviate her current predicament. Observing her struggle, Lumien couldn't suppress his yearning for demigod level powers. As the temporary authority-wielding governor of the sea, essentially a faux demigod incapable of withstanding a single spell from the Cinderella demigod, Lumien had ensnared Mad Lady in an inescapable dilemma. She proved challenging even for Mr. K to subdue in a brief timeframe. Mad Lady gazed into the depths of the metal tunnel, representing the flesh and blood bird's nest, her face aglow with unrestrained eagerness, anticipation, and excitement. Confined within the dark sphere, she yearned for escape, dissatisfied with her inability to reach the desired destination. Head over there quick, head over there quick. I want to go over. The longing in her heart intensified, nearly manifesting as a tangible desire. The desire surged into her chest, seeking to rupture the restraints and liberate her from this predicament. Mr. K, having switched to a traveler's soul, swiftly caught up and saw Mad Lady. Instinctively, an illusory book materialized in his dark eyes. Positioned in front of Mr. K, the book flipped through its pages while chanting in a low voice, I came, I saw, I record. In an instant, Mr. K underwent a transformation, manifesting as a 2 to 3 meter tall half-giant donned in cold black armor, brandishing a dark, straight broadsword. Having grazed a traveler, he had selected 3 Beyonder powers: Blink, Record, and the Traveler's Door, encompassing teleportation or travel. Additionally, with Record, he had acquired an ability capable of influencing godhood from a saint of the Aurora Order. While only half as effective as the original, it proved sufficient to contend with Mad Lady, who had yet to approach the threshold of godhood. Mr. K advanced confidently, wielding the dark, straight broadsword prepared to strike. At that moment, Mad Lady's chest was overwhelmed by an intense surge of desire. Then she experienced a sharp, piercing pain. She didn't need to lower her head. From the corner of her eye, she witnessed the flesh on her chest tearing apart inch by inch, the white bones snapping one by one. A grayish-white fog, mingled with fragments of flesh, surged forth, coalescing into a humanoid figure resembling her. In an instant, it leaped out of the dark sphere created by Lumion and darted into the depths of the metal tunnel. Don't be in a hurry to leave. Unfazed by the situation, Mad Lady's face reflected excitement and a hint of regret. Mr. K's dark broadsword cleaved through the dark sphere, diagonally bisecting Mad Lady. Wearing the ring imbued with flesh and blood magic, Mad Lady didn't succumb immediately. Her 2 halves of flesh and blood writhed, attempting to reunite, but all endeavors were obliterated by the profound darkness left in the wake of the broadsword. The flesh and blood failed to reestablish a connection. Come on, Mad Lady's relatively intact head sought to aid her body, but she swiftly perceived the annihilation of her soul. Her vision darkened, and her unevenly separated bodies crumpled to the ground. Unperturbed by the fate of the April Fool's key member, Mr. K and Lumion redirected their focus to the grayish-white figure hurtling into the depths of the metal tunnel. Comprising half fog and half flesh, the figure existed in a realm between reality and illusion. The temporary governor of the sea, Lumion, once again honed in on the target and its surroundings, intending to marshal every ounce of sea power at his disposal. At that moment, the grayish-white figure collapsed to the ground. The flesh and blood originally belonging to Mad Lady seeped into the metal floor, and the grayish-white fog was on the verge of being absorbed. Abruptly, the entire tunnel trembled. Lumion once again saw the pear-shaped object fashioned from flesh and skin. The flesh membrane on its surface buckled once more, outlining a disc-shaped contour. A formidable suction force erupted. Whether Lumion, the temporary governor of the sea, or Mr. K, they found themselves irresistibly propelled into the depths of the metal tunnel, as if an invisible hand seized them and drew them toward the core of the silver-gray behemoth. Mad Lady's dismembered corpse and her belongings soared into the air, propelled towards the destination she had fervently yearned for in life. The humanoid form outlined by the grayish-white fog seeped deeper into the metal floor, absorbing a portion. In that moment, Lumion, wielding the temporary authority of the governor of the sea, employed his enhanced perception to see the flesh and blood bird's nest, deep within the metal tunnel more distinctly than before. The pear-shaped object's flesh and skin caved in, and the starlight and dark matter emanating from the surrounding flesh ropes accelerated their flow. Through the taut skin and flesh, Lumion vaguely sensed the object nurtured within the pear-shaped structure. It resembled a pitch-black vortex capable of devouring all colors and light. While not overly large, it featured a disc-shaped outer edge. Lumion instinctively recalled scientific concepts and simplified scenes his sister Aurora had once explained. He identified a term that matched his observations: a black hole. Did the Abraham family's ancestor seal a black hole with Ammon? A black hole that has yet to fully form and is still nurtured within a mother's body from a mystical standpoint. Lumion found the idea absurd, straddling the line between scientific and mystical. Simultaneously, he sensed a connection between the black hole-like object and another place. A profound, weighty, dense, and terrifying aura loomed over the world. With a buzzing sensation, Lumion teetered on the brink of losing consciousness. Not only was his physical form being drawn towards the flesh and blood bird's nest, but even his thoughts, spirit body, and destiny converged in that direction. It was the same for Mr. K. One after another, Mad Lady's fragmented remains and a few belongings floated between them. Beyond the silver-gray behemoth, Franca and the others felt an ominous suction emanating from the seabed. It seemed as though a colossal vortex was forming, ready to engulf everything in its vicinity. Splash! The mountainous azure waves and jade-green seawater collapsed, filling the seabed. Abruptly, resplendent starlight descended from the sky. Madam Magician materialized, adorned in a deep black warlock robe embroidered with shimmering silver stars. The wielder of a major arcana card extended her right hand toward the silver-gray behemoth at the seabed. Her figure appeared in a state of overlap, intermittently clear and blurry. Each radiant starlight transformed into an illusory door, seamlessly melding with the suction force, merging into the silver-gray behemoth.